What up, what up, what up, everybody? Welcome to I'll Hang Up and Listen. I guess that's what we're going to call it right now, for at least the time being. Sabres lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins 3-2. Absolute garbage first period. I was texting somebody in the third period, and they said the first period was like 10 pounds of dog shit shoved into a 5-pound bag. That's pretty much what it was. They got it together, though. They played a good second half. One of the biggest things about this team right now is the fact that in the third period, they're not giving – when they get down, they're not giving up on themselves. That's the biggest thing. Secondly, their third periods under Granato, Donnie Meatballs, has been outstanding. If they would have – honestly, if they would have came back and tied and won this game, I would have tweeted out immediately. I was like, hire him now. Hire Don Granato, take the interim tag off now, make him your head coach. Because what he is getting out of these players, most specifically, Tage Thompson scoring consistently. Casey Mittelstadt has 7 goals since he's taken over as interim head coach. That is mind-blowing. And I apologized earlier. I said, I am sorry because I said you were puny. I said you were not dedicated to getting to the next level, to meeting your full potential. And I said I've said multiple times, you were an lifelong AHL hockey player. Yes, I just stopped by to hear you talk about how wrong you are about Casey Mittelstadt. Listen, I wasn't the only one, Steve. I was not the only one. We all know that. But just like we were all wrong about Josh Allen and the Bills, we were all wrong, apparently, about Casey Mittelstadt. And, it just took the right coach. It took the right coach to put him in positions to succeed. And that's the biggest thing. He looks more confident with the puck. He's playing with swagger. He's sorry about that, guys. He's playing with swagger. The whole team's playing with swagger. And just all 3 areas of the game, in the defensive zone, in the neutral zone, and obviously in the offensive zone, but below the dots, I say this constantly, below the dots on both sides of the ice, we look like night and day, a better team. The reemergence of Rasmus Dahlin, I've said that 100 times. Like just what Granato's been able to get out of him, and you see him walk the blue line 2 games in a row now, just with confidence. The way he plays with the puck, again, just night and day compared to what he was under the who will not be named. We're not even going to say his name anymore. He's pretty much Voldemort at this point. That's who he is. Voldemort under Voldemort. Dahlin was just a shell of what we saw the first 2 seasons. And now we see just the defenseman we drafted. And he's just going to keep getting better. He's just turned 21. He just turned 21. And just that's what you're getting. And Sam Reinhart at center has been absolutely outstanding. And I said it before. I am so much more willing to pay Sam Reinhart $6 to $7 million a season at center for that type of point production than I am playing on Jack Eichel's wing. Because Jack Eichel can get those points from average players. You can find – I'm not going to say you can find anybody off the street and, you can get 60, 70 points out of them. But, if I'm going to pay a guy that kind of money to play on Eichel's wing, I want like 80, 90 points. I'm not going to lie. I would have wanted what we would have expected out of Taylor Hall with a healthy Jack Eichel. But Sam Reinhart at center on your second line, you move Dylan Cousins down as your third line center. That is some pretty scary depth down the middle. And I can't stress that enough. If you can get Sam Reinhart to consistently play this well at center, look at that line we had out there today. That line too. We had Skinner, Olofsson, and Sam out there together. They looked great. They looked fantastic. I want to see Jack and Skinner back in the same line, as much as everybody else. But if that's my second line next season and they're performing that well, sign me up. Absolutely. Because they looked good. They dominated that third period. They dominated. I'm sorry. They had Pittsburgh on their heels. Another thing too, it was real nice, obviously, to see the Sabres and Pittsburgh. It was the first combined Pride game. That was really cool, especially on the national stage. Seeing the support for the LGBTQ community. Can't stress enough. I'm a big supporter of that too, big advocate of that. Really nice to see that performed on the national stage. But again, it's I just going back to the game. If this is the team we're getting in and out, and mind you, we are without Jack Eichel, we are without Jake McCabe, Borgen too. Borgen was performing very well before he got hurt, so I'm excited to see him back in this lineup whenever that is. And we don't have our starting goalie. Dustin Tokarski has played so well. A kid that I think he stepped out of pretty much the out of the AHL or it was the ECHL. I don't know. I don't even know where these goalies are. Michael Hauser, Tokarski. I'm pretty sure Tokarski was an AHL goalie. Coming in and playing this well, stepping into a tough situation, taking a lot of rubber and playing this well as he has. It was great seeing him get his first win as a Sabre. First win since 2015. If this is the team we're getting, week in and week out, I think maybe this rebuild isn't going to take as long as we think. I've said it before. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to make the playoffs next year, but is it out of the realm of possibility? No. And here's the thing. You have an expansion draft coming up. You have another free agency, much like the last one, where you see very talented players get signed on short-term, very team beneficial contracts. Look at again. I'll point to Florida. Carter Verhaeghe and Anthony Duclair, two very good hockey players, combined are making $2.7 million this season. That's bananas to me. Bananas. And if you can make swing deals like that, and fill some holes, especially on your blue line, at a cheap price in the short term until, giving these kids like Casey to further develop, Thompson to further develop, R2 develop more, Cousins develop more, give them that bridge, bring in some talent in here on the short term to get so these kids aren't forced into high pressure situations, where they're going to carry a lot on their shoulders going into next season. Bring some veterans in on team friendly deals and allow these kids to develop. Find another goalie. I mean, as much as I like Tokarski and the way he's played, I don't think he's, the backup next season. Even though, he has played very well. It's so nice to not sit here and scream at you guys, not at you, but about this team on these videos anymore, because it's been a breath of fresh air seeing how well these guys have played. I agree. Eichel, Mittelstadt, and Cousins should be the three centers next season. But I will say this. If Sam Reinhart is playing center next year as your second line center, how can you be angry about that? I won't be. That's awesome. Because, again, he's playing well at center. I mean, I'm not going to argue against with Donnie Meatballs if he decides to keep Sam Reinhart at center. This is the first coach we've seen who's tested him at center for more than one game. Granted, he hasn't had much of a choice, with the lack of center depth, but, Sam's played very well at center. So, again, I can't stress that enough. I'd like to see them keep plugging him away at center and just see him to try and continue the success he's had. Absolutely, Steve. The core, is young and valuable. A top 5, number 1 center, another top 3 pick, and Jack Quinn coming. Yeah. That's another kid that's probably going to push for a roster spot on this team. He's playing very well. Last time I looked, he had 9 points in 14 games. Not too shabby for your first pro season. Coming out of the OHL with the Ottawa 67s. Again, fix the goalie. Can't have the backup situation this year. Again, agree. You can't have the same situation at backup. You have to figure that out. There's going to be hopefully some names out there available. I'm not too familiar with all of them, but anything is better than what we saw this season from Carter Hutton. So even though again, Carter Hutton wasn't fully to blame for some of the losses, again, that would be against Lord Voldemort behind the bench. But guys, again, I was going to keep this one, quick and painless. I was happy with that effort tonight. Not happy with the first period, but again, the biggest difference with this team is you're seeing them not give up on themselves like you did under the previous coach. You're seeing them stay in games mentally, getting themselves back into games. They got that power play late in the game, and I had a great feel. I felt great about it. Even without probably your best power play performer in Jack Eichel, I still felt great about it because we're getting a late chance. We have the momentum. We have them on their heels. We're scoring here. And Casey Mittelstadt, Mitz puts one in the back of that. A great shot from just outside the slot. Buries it top corner. Who wish we could have heard Rick Janneret losing his mind on that goal. Hey, Robbie, what's up? But with that being said, guys, I'll hang up and listen. It's been fun talking to you. And, let's go Sabres. Again, 12 more games. Granted, again, we have we're another season without the playoffs, but I enjoy watching these games. I'm cheering during the games. I'm yelling when they score. It's so much fun to watch these young kids. The hashtag new kids on the block. I am pushing that. Hashtag new kids on the block, because that's what this team is. A bunch of kids, and they're like this new look Sabres under Donnie Meatballs. It's so fun to watch. Let's just hope this continues. All right, guys, I'll hang up and listen. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good Saturday night. And remember, let's go real quick before I let you go. Just remember 20% off. You get 20% off at manscaped.com when you use the code word Trainwreck. That's TRAINWRECK. Great. They have a great product there. I myself have the Lawnmower 3.0. The Razor has a built-in flashlight. You never knew you needed a flashlight for your razor until you have one. It actually helps. It helps, keep things even on the beard. Even though it hasn't looked like I shaved in ages, I do trim it along the bottom, keep it all even and nice. And again, it's waterproof. In case you have, hot date, you gotta shave in the shower. Again, waterproof, works right in the shower. Also, have to remind you guys that this reaction video is also brought to you by Amherst Ale House. Great food there. Half off pitchers of Labatt, Blue Light, and Molson and Coors Light pitchers during all Sabres games at Amherst Ale House. Remember, final 12 games of the season. Make sure you get there. Enjoy your tasty beverage. Plus half-price medium pepperoni pizzas. Just call them if you want to, call them ahead of time, 716-625-1700. Remember, half off Labatt Blue and Blue Light, Molson and Coors Light pitchers during all Sabres games at Amherst Ale House. Unbelievable food. I've been there many times with the boys from Trainwreck. Unbelievable wings. Some of my favorites. So make sure you get there. And remember, manscaped.com, code word Trainwreck, get you 20% off plus free shipping. Guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy your Saturday night. And let's go Sabres.